Hopefully, if it did copy the beginning part of that, he can go back in afterwards and delete what he did with all his bad language.
I get a notification.
I never get notifications, and that's restarting. So something must be going right now. And we have our delay like normal, but we're live. It's actually working. I'm going to turn that off because otherwise I'm just going to stare at us making silly faces.
Right.
So we are live officially, finally. But Goldie's getting up like it's not working.
I always get up like it's not working.
You're freaking me out, man. Oh, you need earbuds?
I make sure the sound's working because, you know, I never make sure the sound's working.
How many videos is it? Are you asking mid-video? Is the microphone on?
It's like every live stream because for some reason we've just been having so many
It
issues.
sounds like it's going on.
Oh, yeah, it's going.
Okay.
We've had so many issues getting these set up, certainly on time because the different programs that are involved that we're using and the camera equipment, like we have to use one of our old microphones because
Well, I can't be critical because I haven't tried to pull this off yet. So.
well, it's not that difficult. I don't know how it works. That's why I have him. But we seem to be going. Everything seems to be good. Can people hear us, Goldie? You can hear us, right?
I can hear you.
Well,
Oh,
we're in
not-
the
not-
same room.
You're such a knob. Do we have the chat going? Is that active?
Darren Green has said hi all.
Darren Green has said hi.
And Scott Cross just said, hey, John.
Hey, Scott Cross, how's it going? So the chat is going. We have audio, so they seem to
can
know
hear
that
us.
we're here. We're doing our typical live stream 10 minutes of, is it working? Is this going? Uh-oh, he's going to move the camera. Now we got to wait 6 seconds for the delay to see that the camera shifted.
I think we're good.
He's just trying to get more of the Tim Hortons cup in the shot. That's all that is. Our normal gratuitous Tim Hortons cup that ends up in every single video.
Well, I won't turn my cup around then.
No, yours is,
I don't drink that stuff. It's just a cup. It's from home.
yeah. So, we are here. Today is the day we announced the winners of our contest that we announced in the last live stream, where we're going to be giving away 2 Monster Carp Tackle bite alarms and a 9-foot 2 3/4 Monster Carp Tackle carp rod. But I'm not going to give them away right this second because otherwise you'll all take off and not interact with us, and that would make me sad. Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm getting texts from people who are watching. Scott Cross, that's a fake name. It's Ricky. It's the guy I work with.
Oh.
You didn't guess, Ricky, so I don't think you're going to win anything. But thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. Now tell all your friends so they all tune in. Goldie will feed us comments as we go so that we know what people are saying, and if they have any questions, we can answer them. Except right now because you ran away. But you can see, joining me today is Dave Pendlebury, a good buddy who helps us out with videos and also our local representative for Monster Carp Tackle, kind of the man behind everything that goes online relating to Monster Carp Tackle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Goldie whipped out his rod. So inappropriate, Dave. So this one's beat up, but it has stories to tell. And this one's covered in tape because he wanted to make sure that we could tell them apart. And he had to make it all fancy with patterns. But yeah, some examples. These are well used, so you know that this stuff will take punishment. But there's the,
Is that 2 seasons or 3 seasons?
I think it's 2 seasons for him, or 3 seasons for him, 2 seasons for me.
For the alarm.
For the alarm.
Yeah.
And I think it's 2 seasons for him on the rod, and 1 season on the rod for me, or 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we got these in,
It's been at least 2 years then.
yeah, it was like 2017, I think, when we got these. So yeah, at least 2 years for sure. So you've heard me rave about the Monster Carp Tackle bite alarms. for a day session type alarm, entry level pricing, it is one of the best out there as far as I'm concerned. We all know that I do use Nash alarms as well, but in my Nash Bite Alarm review that I did, I couldn't help but rave about how well this is. The only reason I have another alarm from another company is that these ones unfortunately don't have a receiver.
Yeah.
But you can set these loud enough. They'll wake you up if you don't sleep like me.
Yeah.
Because when I'm out, I'm
Well,
out.
my first year at the Carp Cup, I used the Monster alarms before I ended up getting the set with the receiver, but it was enough to get me up.
Oh yeah. And then another thing is there's so many settings to this, as simple as they are. Goldie and I have actually done a comparison with these side by side, fishing multiple times, obviously, between this and my Nash alarm. And the science behind that Nash one about that speed sensing technology, trying to avoid wind movement and liners and stuff like that. This is very, very close with the basic settings in here. We can get this set.
There's so many sensitivity settings.
Yeah.
You can set it up to cut out the waves or
So
the wind.
just as often as mine would, bobbin would jump up and down, not detected on the sounder, Goldie's using this one, same response, silent, bobbins move. Demir's next to us with his Delcums, and it's beeping 30 times in the same time frame. And that's not just him adjusting settings, that's just me being rude about Delcums because I don't like them. I think they sound stupid. So yeah, we're giving away 2 of these, and we'll get to that information a little bit later. Then this is Goldie's beat up rough 9 foot 2 3/4 test curve monster carp tackle carp rod. This has done so many fish for him, including his PB of 36.15. Is that what it is? Yeah, it was like 1 ounce shy or 2 ounces shy of 37 pounds. So this has done some seriously big fish, and we know it has lost some seriously big fish as well. Those incidents were Will's fault, and we blame him entirely. It has nothing to do with the reel that I lent him that day that was what screwed up. But I myself use one of these. I've landed fish over 30 pounds with it.
Oh,
Goldie
you
has
mean
landed
the one that blew up in my head.
the reel that's on the shelf there because it had to be retired after that session. I've landed 30 pounders with this rod. Goldie's landed 30 pounders on mine. You've used this rod many times, Dave. You believe in this rod as well.
Yeah, I think the one spot we were fishing last fall towards the end of the season, watching Demir spot with the 2 3/4. I was I was like sitting back in awe of like what he was accomplishing with the rod, and I think Demir even surprised himself. Like, I think it was just the smaller like.
No, it was the MIDI. It was the MIDI Spalm
Yeah.
he was using. He had it loaded up, and he would. What did we calculate? That was almost 90 yards he was hitting with this rod braid. It was somewhere around
90
there,
yards.
just shy of 100 yards. Yeah, it blew his mind. And since then, we've all been using this rod as a spot rod at times as well.
It is kind of the all round rod. Like, I find like the 3.5, it's not for everybody. At the 2 1/4, I'm just kind of getting familiarized with the 2 1/4 myself, and it's kind of surprising me in a most positive way as well. And I think you're looking forward to spending some time with it as well.
The 2 1/4 is one I'm really excited about because I like that close quarters fishing at the Park Lake and some of the other spots we've been going to. The 3.5 I've not used, but you've used that for both fishing and spotting.
Yeah.
To great effect.
Yep.
And you've not had any complaints about that. It's just that it's stiffer than this one.
I actually prefer it for spotting. Like at the tournament this year, I was using probably too much rod. It was like a Daiwa Black Widow something. It was just way too much backbone for my casting ability. Like I was just making a mess, and I was thinking about last year, like the Carp Cup last year when I was using the 3.5, and it was just I was way more accurate, and I feel like it was going out a lot easier. I think like I was using the test curve properly. I think the rod I was using this year was just a little too stiff for my casting ability, and it was taking way too much effort. But
Well, one thing I could say about these rods for sure, as stupid as this sounds, there is a method behind the madness. Goldie has been punishing this rod specifically to see what it would take to break it. And he's not been able to do that. He doesn't take care of his equipment. I give him a hard time about it all the time just because I'm somebody, like I'm still using equipment that's 25 years old. I'm sure you are as well. Goldie doesn't have that kind of mentality like we do. He just wants to put it through its pace to see what it's capable of. And so far, it has not let us down in any way. So one of these rods is being given away today.
Not that one.
Not this one. You don't want this one unless you specifically want this for like a mantelpiece thing where
I could
Goldie can sign it. And we could send it out, but maybe we'll do another contest for that down the road. But today, this one's not going anywhere except back upstairs into his room. So,
Okay, so.
what's up?
True North Angler says hello.
True North Angler, hello. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in.
And Only Fishing 101 really wants the rod, so get to the contest already.
Oh, no, I'm going to make you sweat. It's not happening that fast. But one thing I will say is that we had a lot of guesses. I think there was over 40 guesses in the first 2 weeks that it was up. We've had a lot of guesses, a lot of really close guesses. I will say this, there was a lot of guesses that were like just over the weights, and obviously those don't count. We had to have it exactly on or under. We do have winners. That I can say 100%. We have winners. We'll get to that in a little while. But while we have some people in the chat, I'd love to hear about how the seasons have been going for people, because I'm sure if you've been watching our videos, certainly the one we posted last week, the season's been very up and down for Goldie and I. We're having sessions that are just smash them up, crush it, and those videos are going to be coming out in the next few weeks. We've also had sessions where, like last week, we blanked hardcore, like one of the worst blanks I've had with fish all over us. So is there anybody, out there in the chat land that wants to let us know how their season's been going? Got anything for us, Goldie? Everybody's still typing. What about you, Dave? You've been struggling because you're not getting out at all.
I'm struggling just with.
Only Fishing 101 wants really wants to be picked.
Well, can you wire transfer a lot of money to Goldie right now? And maybe we could pick you and just not
Well, you
have.
could just do a super chat.
Don't worry, we will announce the winners. I am not going to give away who it is. One thing's for sure, though, I think with one of the winners, it's somebody I do know that we've actually met in person, which is really cool. That's it. 'Cause I keep cutting you off.
No, it's a small community, locally anyway. It's a kind of each little, geographic area. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the other carp anglers in the area.
Yeah.
But on a personal note, like I haven't been out much. I've been baiting areas in anticipation of the chance to get out, but I haven't been out. One spot I went to the other day, I was surprised to see, fish are still spawning, and in another spot that I've been baiting, the fish were feeding quite heavily, and it was tough to leave when I did. I kind of got my quick fix, and I was out. But I have spots in mind that I looked at through the winter. I was trying to find like a warm water discharge kind of through the winter to get me through the winter without going carp free for 3 or 4 months or whatever. But that spot has a lot of qualities that I think will make it a good summer spot as well, but I haven't had the chance to get out, put the effort into baiting, and then once the baiting is done, actually take advantage of it and try to shoot like a video or something. But
Well, that'll be cool. One thing I can say for sure is the videos that you've been putting up, certainly with our channel, have been well received. Everybody likes them. Get a lot of great comments, and the most recent one, if you've not watched it already, after this live stream, go back and watch it. You're you and Clint fishing this year's Canada Carp Cup from Peg 1. that honestly, you gave us a lot of hype leading up to that when you were talking about editing it and putting it together. And I have to say that it lived up to the hype. It's probably my favorite one you've done so far. I really, really enjoyed that one. And that says a lot given that the one you did, I think, last year with the canal fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an amazing video. I absolutely loved that one. But this one that you just posted, we posted a couple weeks ago, by far my favorite you've done so far. Just the energy in it, how it starts out slow, and then you guys start catching, and you get so excited and get so into it and get silly and talk about Captain Jeff Boyardee. You know, that has Goldie and Stitches every time. So if you're gonna do a video at this new spot, I would say that you now have a new standard you've set for yourself that you have to keep reaching. So just putting a little extra pressure on you there.
Yeah, I'll just have to make sure I give myself enough time to do it properly. But it's fun to do, and I think I do it almost as much for myself, which kind of sounds selfish, but I almost do it as much for myself as I do for you guys. It's just something that's fun to look back on, and if you're not getting out as often as you had hoped, or it's just fun to share and just to let my family know what I'm up to too. Like I tell them I'm going carp fishing, and if they don't come along with me, then they don't really get the opportunity to see what it's all about unless I put these videos together. And it's exciting for them to see actually what I'm talking about when you're talking 30-pound fish. Like,
yeah,
people can't even fathom a 30-pound fish. And then
one of the ways I looked at it when we started doing the channel, because there's a lot of reasons why we started doing these videos and certain things that they do for us, because it's certainly what started out as something we're doing for us that we just, hopefully if somebody else can take something from that and improves their fishing, great. But really, if you look at it nowadays, these videos are, for us old guys, the new age photo albums, right? We still have I'm sure you do, but I have my photo album with, old pictures that we had to get done at the local photo mart, and, you thumb through it and you remember those scenarios, but nowadays you can actually look back and watch the whole session instead of just remembering parts of it. Because, as we get older, our memories go, and mine's going pretty quickly lately. But that's just seems to be the way it is nowadays. You can just thumb through a playlist and relive that moment over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
you don't agree with me?
No, I got myself in a situation last year. I had backed up a bunch of family photos, and then I dropped the backup drive, and it cost me a couple $100 to get everything back. But so there's definitely merit to actually having those hard copies and setting them aside for an actual family gathering or whatever. But the videos is definitely something that's a lot easier to share. Like, you can live anywhere and dial into YouTube and check out a video, so it's a lot easier to share with your friends than
for sure,
a giant catalog of photos that weighs like 30 pounds.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the other things I really have come to like with this medium and being able to put these out there is, each week we get to interact with people from all over the world. So, a carper that's hardcore in England or somewhere in Europe, where they just caught a 70-pound fish in some lake that they've been to. It's amazing to hear about. They're talking about they just had their PB, and maybe they tried the rig that we were doing or tried the bait that we were talking about, and that's what did it for them. Like, that's awesome. I loved being able to interact with people from all over the place, especially since some of them like to tease us and make fun of us because we don't catch 70-pounders here. But guess what? They're coming. It's going to happen. Goldie's going to get it with a 9-foot rod and a monster carp alarm. Thursday. Pressure's on, buddy. So how long do you want us to make people sweat before we at least give away the alarms? How long should we push that? Looking for feedback from you, tech guy.
I just posted on Facebook that we are live, so
Give it a few more minutes.
sorry in the delay.
In your brain or the tech part?
Yep.
I
I will give it 5 minutes if we can do the first one.
Okay, so in 5 minutes we will announce the winner of the 2 Monster Carp Tackle Bite Alarms. Uh-oh. We got a from the tech guy.
Well, no, actually getting people coming in. And Canadian Bassing says, gentlemen,
Canadian Bassin, Mustachio von Beardless, as I've been calling him lately. He has been crushing it on the bass. He got some kayaks. Him and his lady and some friends have been out, and they are crushing bass this season. And I have to say I'm just slightly jealous, not because it's bass, because I like to catch big fish, but because they're doing so well. It's been a good season so far for that. One day I'll convert him and actually get out to do a proper carp session. He is a good guy, for the most part. I like his kids more than I like him because his kids are really cool. But, glad he's tuning in. Yeah, he's been smashing it. He's my bass hero. I don't know why I put that in quotation marks. But yeah, we've got people tuning in, so we'll give away one of these.
The one thing that I haven't, I've been kind of following from the sidelines and really curious about it, but when a month and a half ago or maybe 2 months ago now, when they started talking about the 2-rod thing, I wasn't sure if there was like an actual timeline, as far as because I know there's probably a lot of political things that have to happen and bureaucratic things, but I didn't know if it was something that we could anticipate happening later in the season, or if it would be
You know what? I don't know. I should have brushed up on the info for that this morning. I didn't have time because I slept in and then took my dog to Tim Hortons, so I was really lazy.
No,
But there is currently the email address for the government because they are looking for input from
has
anglers.
the deadline gone past for?
I believe the deadline is the end of July.
Okay,
I should have looked that up this morning, and I didn't. And
that's my fault for bringing it up.
yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get that info. It was a topic I wanted to bring up because that 2-rod rule I think is going to be very important for us in the carp fishing community, because then we can use 2 of these and 2 of these, and that just looks sexier than 1. But to be able to expand our opportunities for catching fish in the same way the rest of the world does. But there is that chance for feedback for us carpers to get out there. I believe you can get a direct link to that survey and that information from the Fishing Canada website, but it's been posted also on Ontario Out of Doors, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Outdoor Canada, I'm not
just
100%
to make
on
sure that
that
they're getting some positive feedback
But-
from carp anglers
Well,
about the
positive
changes.
and negative, you need to have
this
both,
is-
because
yeah.
if you don't post the negative, they're going to overlook things, and they want as much detail as possible about how implementing this rule is going to impact the local fishing, the fishing community, other fishing communities. How is us using 2 rods in our spot going to affect bass anglers, right? Because most boaters don't even realize that we could be fishing 70, 80, 90 or more yards out, and they'll track right in front of us at 30 yards thinking we're fishing right in front of us. As soon as we implement a 2-rod rule, we could have 2 lines going out, one close, one far, or 2 going out really far, and they could drive right over them. They need to know how this is all going to react, how we're all going to react with one another when this rod comes into place. So certainly it's a topic that we should have
And they were even
discussed.
talking about having to be very specific with the baits and stuff,
Yeah,
as
and
far as chumming and what you could introduce. And
I think that's important as well. We don't want people just leveling in loads of crap baits or baits that can negatively impact the health of the fish, right? We don't want somebody going out in November when it's really cold water, loading in a ton of oily baits that the fish aren't going to be able to digest properly, or that's not going to be good for the area where the fish are.
lots of angles to consider, and I guess that's
Yeah, it's a huge thing, but don't quote me. I think the deadline for that information is the end of July. I don't think it was the end of June. I think it's the end of July. But going to the Fishing Canada website, there is a link that you can follow for all that information with the email address to send the government your feedback. Definitely go do that. And that's not just for Canadians. That's not just for us here. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. This will impact you as well. If you have a desire to come to Ontario or come to Canada to do some carp fishing, you're going to want to know what those rules are and how they have to be followed. So having your input on, hey, I'm from Romania or Italy or England, and I would love to have this rule in place here. This is why. This is what we do here in our home country. This is how it can impact you guys in yours. This is open to everybody. Definitely get your feedback in wherever you're from if you ever want to fish here. It's a good thing to bring that up.
Yeah, maybe if maybe I'll try to verify the dates and stuff for the
Maybe.
cutoff or whatever.
Maybe. Any new news for us, Goldie? No,
Will is around.
Who is?
Will.
Oh, him. I thought he was still out fishing. He had a great fish last night. Didn't deserve it, but he caught a really good 27-pounder last night.
Life of Murphy's Outdoor Channels here.
Life of Murphy's Outdoor Channel. How's it going?
And I don't know who else.
You don't know who.
They're
else.
actually having a conversation right now.
Oh, other people are having a conversation with themselves.
Yeah, they're actually asking how they're doing.
Oh, nice. How many people do we have following right now? Can you see that?
10 people watching right now.
10 people watching right now. To all 10 of you, thank you.
Well, minus you and me.
Minus you and me. Why is mine still going?
You're on your PlayStation.
I'm staring right at it. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's been long enough? You're laughing at me again. Stop laughing at me. You hurt my feelings. Do we want to give away the alarms? What do you guys think? Get on with it. Okay, so for those of you who have followed along with the season and certainly watched the video about the contest, you'll know that the plan that we had was we wanted to give away 2 bite alarms and a rod. The rules were to not go over. You had to guess the weight exactly right or be the closest one under the weight to be able to take that win. And like I said before, we had a lot of guesses. There was over 40 guesses in the first 2 weeks, which I was super, super happy about. Now, I did take a picture of the scale after each fish, and they're blurry. But you can see there's the picture, Dave, of the one for the bite alarms. Blurry as heck because it was dark.
That was like the picture I took last night.
There is the winner for the 2 Monster Carp Tackle bite alarms. One person out of every guess that there was, one person got it dead on. I will throw a shout out to Will, who was 1 ounce under. Even though when he called me and told me he made the guess, I told him he was over and that he sucked. So
I think it's July 29th. You're right.
okay, so just a quick interlude. Dave has looked up the deadline date for that 2-rod rule information. It's July 29th. So it is the end of July. So you still have like 2.5 weeks or something like that to get that information in there. Please do so.
Sorry.
No, we need that information out there. And we need responses. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, please put your feedback in there. You have until July 29th. So, yeah, I was making fun of Will because, well, that's what I do. It's fun, and sometimes he plays along, sometimes it hurts his feelings, but either way, I'm okay with it. But yeah, he had guessed 1 ounce under, and I didn't tell him that because I like to tease him. There was a few guesses that were like 2 or 3 ounces under, a couple that were a couple ounces over, but one person nailed it on the head, and that winner of the 2 bite alarms.
Before you say that, we have to apologize to everybody
Why?
for not getting the big 30s or 20s in this video because it's harder to guess the smaller fish.
It is harder to guess the smaller fish, believe it or not. With both situations, a lot of people guessed much higher over and way down in weight. Some person guessed like 2 pounds for one of the fish and 4 pounds for the other, which I thought was a little weird. But we haven't been catching big fish this season. We've had some 20-pounders, but it's been tough. That's why we posted that video last week of how difficult it's been, and the struggle is real. We're not catching big guys this season so far, but they're coming. Goldie will get them, and I'll cry.
Okay,
But-
now I'll stop interrupting you.
Is it okay? Can I announce the winner of the bite alarms? Are you okay with it, Dave?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Is Goldie gonna shut up? And please tell me that Will's not responding right now. Good, because I don't want to deal with him right
They're
now.
all waiting with bated breath.
They're all waiting with bated breath. What bait did they use? Is it a fishy bait? Is it a fruity bait? More of a nutty bait? What is it?
Hopefully it's monster carp bait.
It better be monster carp bait. Okay, so the YouTube handle for the winner of the bite alarms is NK Cutler, and I'm pretty sure that that's Nathan, um, fellow angler who fishes the Fishing Canada Carp Cup, and I also know that he does love to watch our videos on Saturday mornings with his daughter. Got a really nice message from him. I can't remember if it was last season or earlier this season, but it was incredibly nice, and I really appreciated it. But yeah, NK Cutler, you are the winner of the 2 Monster Carp Tackle bite alarms. So because YouTube no longer has a messaging system within it anymore, if you're watching right now, please throw your information in the chat, an email address, or go to our Facebook page and send us a direct message if you don't want anybody to see it, with your address information so that we can get that sent to you. Actually, I guess the Facebook Messenger is best, right?
Or they can email.
Or they can email Goldie's email. Good.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Did you put it in the chat?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you will.
Well, yeah, I was trying to figure out which email you were going to use.
We'll use yours, your photo studio email. But yeah, that or the Facebook Messenger, NK Cutler. You win. We need your information because without it, we can't send you your prize. And now we make everybody sweat over the rod because I'm not going to give that away yet. And
I
Goldie's
think-
laughing
I
at me.
think Nathan fished a tournament with like pretty much a novice angler in the last 2 years. I think.
I'm not sure about his partner because in all fairness, I don't think I had much interaction with them.
I think I met them not this year, but last year. We were sitting in the McDonald's parking lot. We were trying to like kill time till morning, and I think he was like parked right beside us, and we ended up chatting through the night for most of the night. But
Well, not this past year, but last year was Nathan's first year in the tournament. It was the second year the tournament had happened. And yeah, in 2018, he had the biggest fish. It was like a 36 pounder. That was a big fish of the tournament. So there was a lot of banter back and forth between a group of us going into this season because his was 32.6. That's right. His was 32.6 for that year. And the banter was back and forth because the first year I had the biggest fish, which was 32.11. So I held my title up until this year, and it was this year that it was a 36 pounder that came out, wasn't it? 34 or something like that. It was a big fish.
36, I think.
I think it was 36 because you guys had a 30.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 30s that came out.
Well, two teams finished with over 120 pounds. So
Yeah. So
there's a lot of
them some big fish. But yeah, so a fellow big fish catcher from the tournament. There's only 3 of us now who've done it. Had the big fish prize for the Fishing Canada Carp Cup. We should have a plaque mounted for all of us who have taken that title.
Was it Maxime Rashid or something?
I don't know.
One of last year's winners.
Yeah, I honestly, for this past year, I don't actually know who got the big fish. I'd have to go back and see, but
Yeah, I think it was one of last year's winners.
I think we were all so tired at the peg draw, and the peg draw was drawn out because we were all just yammering back and forth with each other. We don't know. What are you laughing at now?
What number coffee is that?
What number coffee?
I told you were very hyper this morning.
Oh,
And Scott Cross wants to know what number coffee that is.
well, it's because normally Scott Cross, aka the guy I work with, normally he doesn't see me this hyper and at all in a good mood because I'm at work. What he does know is that I drink a lot of coffee. This particular extra large is my 3rd Tim Hortons coffee, plus I had one that I made before I went to Tim Hortons this morning with the dog. So I think this is, I'm on 4 coffees, and just so you know, I have not had any decaf. Normally, I drink decaf all week long. Weekends, I don't drink decaf. Yeah, I'm wired. I'm absolutely wired. Part of it's that I'm excited to give these prizes away. The other part is that, I don't sleep and I drink a lot of coffee. So, yeah, I think it's number 4. How many of you had, Dave?
3, I think.
3.
Yeah.
And this is Dave Hyper, right? If you know Dave, he's very quiet, very meek, very, a down to earth guy that just enjoys living. And this is him wired. This is what he looks like, excited. that was fun.
I'm catching flies the rest of the time.
Yeah, so we have our winner for the alarms. Send us your info so we can send them to you. We'll get all the details worked out about how we're going to send them to you, whether it be by drone or plane or donkey or whatever. We'll get them to you. So that part's awesome. I don't want to give away the rod yet.
Will's disappointed that he was off by an ounce.
Will should be disappointed that he was off by an ounce, because he's always off by an ounce until he shoves extra baits in the fish to try and get it up in weight, right? Like I looked at that picture of that 27 pounder that he got last night that he sent to me. My first thought was like, oh, that fish is like 35 pounds. Then I realized he can't catch fish that big. So it had to be like 19, 20. And when he said it was 27, I was like, yeah, it's got a belly, but so does Will. So it's okay. Yeah, he's a fibber. I'm totally just destroying his character in this video today. What else is new though? If you can't have some friendly banter back and forth, what's the point?
I thought carp anglers are supposed to be friendly and help each other out.
Carp anglers are friendly and help each other out. We got him turned on to Monster Carp Tackle. He's seen us catch bigger fish in front of him than he catches, so it's okay. But we're not like bass anglers where we just don't say anything or we're rude. Because some, not all, but some bass anglers are like that. Actually, the toughest community I've had to deal with are muskie anglers.
Yeah, I'd imagine that.
You know what? There's a lot of great guys out there that fish muskie, and gals that fish muskie. Have a lot of great interactions with them, but some of them, they just get so tuned into what they're doing, they ignore everything else around them. And I've had my lines picked up by 12-inch lures so many times. I should have just cut the lines and kept them, and I'd have a whole wall of just muskie baits that have interfered with my carp fishing. And you know, not good comments that come back when it happens. So what are we going to do about that? Can't.
Sarah Lee says, good afternoon, sunshine.
Sarah Lee says, good afternoon, sunshine. I don't know why she started calling me sunshine, but another coworker from the day job. Glad you're tuning in. Did she miss the winner for the bite alarms? Probably. Yeah, it wasn't you, just so you know. That was so rude. But that's okay. Don't worry, we're going to have other contests, maybe give away more of this stuff in the future. Maybe, should give you away in one prize one day. Like, win a chance to fish with Goldie. Because, you know, they're guaranteed to outfish you, for one.
Probably because I'll fall asleep.
That would be a hell of a prize, eh?
But that could be awesome because somebody in Britain would win that.
And then they could pay for themselves to get over here just to fish with you for like 4 hours and then have to fly back. Kind of like what Will did. You know, he was only actually over there for 24 hours and then flew back. All that was just Photoshop in that video. Actually, to bring that up, we just saw, it was posted online, Paul from that UK carp fishing adventure that Will went on, Will's host Paul and his friends, when they went over and fished Pads Lake at the Yateley complex. You know, we were lucky enough that Will videoed that whole session where Paul caught 2 of the Pads Lake 40s in that session. And again, it was an amazing video. I absolutely felt like I was there enjoying that session with them, with the energy that those guys had and the camaraderie that they had. That, I haven't read it yet, but that session, Paul did a write-up about that session. It was actually posted in a carp fishing magazine over there. So, you know, great job, Paul. Good for you that it's in print as well. So, yeah, I think that link has been shared around. So you can probably find that and find out which magazine that is and actually read about that. I just wanted to throw a shout out to that since it was brought up.
I saw that on his Facebook post on there.
Pretty cool, because he was calling that his 15 minutes of fame, but no, you had your 15 minutes in the video. This is like another 15, so you had 30 minutes of fame, Paul. That's awesome. Wow, I'm wired. I haven't even had the candy yet. Actually, give me that. It's not even open. So unprepared. Has anybody mentioned how their season's going yet? Because I asked that earlier on and nobody has said anything. You're just sitting there laughing at us through this whole thing.
I never saw this hot weather coming.
I didn't either.
It was like spring/winter for so long, and now it's just like
Okay, so with that said, Dave, because it's been brutally hot,
Like, yeah.
how do you think that's impacting? Do you think that is what's hitting us so hard? Because we had such a really wet spring where we all struggled, and then it went immediately to just desert heat.
I was trying to remember how like the year before played out. Like
It wasn't that wet in the start. That
No,
was,
it was-
2017 was wet, but we didn't go to that dead
It was-
heat right off the bat.
it was hot, like after the Carp Cup, from what I remember last year. But I don't remember how the spring played out at all. But
Well, after the Carp Cup last year, we did have a couple weeks where it did feel like spring because we were actually going out and it was quite cool for a while. And that's when I got that 42 pounder. It was like a week after the tournament. But the fish spawned kind of on time last year. This year, it seems to be really broken up where we talked about it in the past. But where you were fishing last night, you said you saw the carp spawning.
Yeah.
Kevin was there the day before and had a couple of fish and they weren't at all.
well, I think there's some more wet weather on the way too. Like if the forecast holds true, I think there's some more rain coming. So it's I don't know how it's necessarily going to
Yes,
affect the fish.
Barry's coming up from the south.
Barry?
A hurricane.
yeah,
well, he's
the-
hurricane still, but he's going to become.
The tropical
Tropical-
Oh,
storm.
tropical storm. You
No,
just
he'll
said
be coming.
Barry, so I was like, oh, how's Barry
I
going?
was wondering why they. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, there's more water coming, and I can't even believe some of the photos I see of like places I've looked at for years.
Oh yeah, places we've all fished that are
Port Dalhousie or whatever.
yeah, like out by
It looks-
the lighthouse.
It
The
looks like
lighthouse,
the lighthouse
is just
floating out in the middle of
yeah,
the
it's
lake.
probably like knee deep water or waist deep water out there where we used to go out and fish off of for salmon and stuff.
And I saw like I think all the Great Lakes
They're all
as
up.
of June are at their like all-time highs
Yeah.
or above.
We were looking at that the other day, Goldie. I think it said like Lake Ontario or Lake Erie was like 83 centimeters above what it would normally be. Like that.
And
That's
they-
Ontario.
Yeah, it's like
83.
2.5 feet higher than it should
I
be.
think it's one of the higher lakes right now, like as far as being above normal.
Well, it is at the bottom, right?
And
so
they
it's
got-
all flowing in.
Plus, they got I think the St. Lawrence is like completely full open or whatever, trying to.
Oh, trying to drain it out.
I think
Yeah, I
like,
don't know.
and apparently the water levels in the Great Lakes are still rising,
Which is
plus
wild.
the more wet weather on the way. So
So it could be interesting, but the question is, the high water should be better for fishing.
like all the
I
spots
personally
that,
think, but
I
the
think
heat-
all the spots that we fish, like I don't necessarily think the high water changes things too much for us.
I think most of our places, the water levels are normal. Certainly where we've spent the last couple times at what we're calling Mud Beach, Clint Spot, water levels are pretty much normal or down there. Secret Spot, water levels are not up. Some of the park lakes we've gone to, the water levels are not up.
So
but
must
if you
be
go
just
if
the
you go over to
temperature.
just the Niagara River, just down the street from us here, the Upper Niagara is definitely up. Haven't you've been down to the whirlpool a little while ago? I haven't been down there since the
Oh.
winter, but from what we're hearing, that's stayed up pretty high.
The high water levels down there, like it was when I was going down there, I think it was impacted a lot by the southwest winds. It
Mhm.
was the south winds anyway, but I think it has been considerably staying above normal levels. So
So my question is, like, we know that the water goes down at night down in the lower Niagara River. Do you think it's going all the way down? Because we haven't been there in a while.
I don't know that it would be, but I haven't been down to verify that. But
Well, we're gonna have to go down and check it out soon because if any of you saw our video from last year, where the three of us actually went to the whirlpool to fish all through the night for carp, and that was a very loopy night. You think I'm wired now? We all stayed up all day, all night, and all the next day. Actually, you actually came from work, fished all day, and then went to work afterwards, which is bonkers. But we were all delirious from lack of sleep. We caught so many fish down there. We've actually been asked by friends and a few followers to do that again. I'm not sure when this year.
we'll have to do it a little smarter this time.
Yeah,
We'll have
definitely
to-
not carry as much gear
Yeah,
down
we'll
in
have
that
to
heat.
plan out who brings down what.
Yeah,
'Cause we were doubled up on nets. We were doubled up on landing mats. We were doubled up on
I
like
had the brawly.
bait.
I had the brawly with me because it was supposed to pour rain, and so I had that extra like 15
We
pounds
only
on my
had
back.
an extra 150 to 200 pounds of gear.
And we carried out 50 pounds of bait because we didn't need any of the bait that we used. The fish were just all over us. But you'll be happy to know, for those of you who've been asking, we are going to do a night at the whirlpool again. I'm going to change things up a bit. I think we might do a day and a night, or start out at the night and fish the whole next day. I'm going to change things up a bit. But we're going to make it interesting. We're going to take a fourth person with us, so it'll be a nice competition, team against team. So be ready for that, because yeah, it's gonna hurt when I crush you. I haven't said the teams yet either, so doesn't necessarily mean I'm against you.
No, that'd be interesting.
But yeah, we got to do that again because that was so much fun.
Because when I was down there, I'm positive I saw a bunch of carp cruising around the last time I was down there.
Well, maybe we'll go do a walkthrough with some big tackle for some muskie or something like that soon, and just see what the water levels are like, how the carp are moving around, and then we'll get it all planned out for like August, September time. We'll go and we'll do a shoot down there again. That was so much fun that night.
And shockingly, I don't think any of us lost any gear while we were down there.
I think Goldie lost. There was a couple of us had break-offs, not from snags but from fish, didn't we?
No.
Or one of us lost a hook.
But anyways, I
lost
imagine
the hook because I got it stuck on a rock.
Yeah.
And
I imagine we were gonna burn through like
Oh, I
5
thought-
or 6 leads apiece,
Yeah.
but it was nothing like that.
Wasn't
at
the
all.
case. As soon as it was hitting the water, the fish were all over it. We had a couple runs that pulled the pod right over, and actually the back of my monster alarm smashed on a rock, so I had to have tape on it afterwards because it actually broke right through, because the hit took it over so hard, and I didn't brace the pod because I'm not smart.
No, that was definitely a memorable session for sure.
Yeah, well, people want to see it again, so it's going to happen. Hey, tech guy, how's it going over there? Anybody else got anything, questions or anything like that we can field before we get to the rod giveaway? And if they say get to the rod giveaway, no, I'm making you
No,
sweat.
he went, he had to go. So,
Who did?
Oing Fishing 101.
Well,
Yeah.
he had to go, but
And Will says Meg is not out yet. Soon.
the mag's not out. Oh, for Paul's article, it's not out? I thought it was out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The link that I saw said it was out, or I don't know. The article exists. It will be available at some point. Shut up, Will.
No, that's Will. I'm telling you what he's saying. And he had a good night last night.
Did he have more than just the one fish? Because Dave and I only saw the picture of the 27 pounder, and I don't know about you, but I think it was Photoshopped.
Well, he's on the bank. He's photoshopping, is he?
No, you're right. He's not smart enough to use Photoshop. Just a weird camera angle. Made the belly look massive when the fish was like this big. He's a small guy with really long arms, right? So he could hold out a 2-pounder and make it look, oh yeah, it's 27 pounds. If anybody wants to get in on the Will bashing, which can be fun, and he, like I said, sometimes he's a good sport about it, feel free to go in the comments and throw some shots at him. You've seen his videos. He's gonna hate me after this. I'm gonna have to go fishing with him and just let him catch more. Oh well. I'm gonna start getting texts and phone calls as soon as this live stream is done, and he's just gonna start yelling at me, and I'm gonna eat candy and drink coffee and ignore him. But yeah, I'm having way too much fun doing this. I need to cut back on my coffee intake. I'm probably going to die. So here's one thing I'm going to say. As far as the rod goes, there was a lot of guesses that were well under and a lot of guesses that were well over. There was a few guesses that were just above, and actually we have to draw names for the winner because of how close the guesses were. They were all the same. So we do actually have 3 names that we have to draw the winner out of a hat for the rod, which you're going to do. You're going to pick the name out of that so that I'm not held accountable if I screw something up. What are you laughing at now, punk?
Will is going to school your ass with Northern Special.
Anybody can school me with Northern Specials. I only catch bass on Northern Specials. That's why I use mainline pop-ups. You know, all my bottom baits are Monster Carp tackle, but my pop-ups, until we get Monster Carp tackle to come along and make the ones that we've designed, because Goldie came up with an amazing flavor, and once I made those pop-ups, they catch fish based on the Monster Carp corn flavors.
I found some in the driveway on the
Yeah,
way
you
in.
found one in the driveway. But yeah, anytime I've ever used Northern Specials, I can't catch a carp with them. I only catch bass. So, I'm not going to use them. He can school me with those all he wants. I'll put on a boilie and spank him, because I'll catch more fish with that. Northern Specials suck.
Well, there goes that sponsorship.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, everybody else on the planet catches with those baits. I don't, just bass. And, oh, nope, I had a rudd.
Yes.
Very first thing I caught with the Northern Special was a rudd.
Upper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Upper River, yeah. How long have we been going?
50 minutes.
50 minutes. Okay, well, we probably should give away this rod then, right? Would be fair. Okay. It's, we got a hat here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have the 3 names of the people who all guessed the weight closest to the weight of the fish number 1, which was Goldie's fish. So it was fish number 2 that gave away the alarms. That was mine. That was 9 pounds 9 ounces. So the fish that Goldie caught, although it didn't seem like it, which surprised us both, that fish was 16 pounds 2 ounces. I want to throw a shout out to the 2 guys on there, Cody K and I forget the other name now because I didn't write it down, who guessed 16 pounds 4 ounces. You guys were both close, but unfortunately just over. We had 3 people in particular, I will read those names, who guessed 16 pounds on the nose. So I thought this was odd, people. You guys all had really great guesses, but in the 16 pound range, there was only 5 guys that guessed it, 3 of which were the same as each other, and 2 of which were the same as each other. That was just weird. So
I guess they didn't watch The Price is Right growing up as a kid.
yeah, so the 3 names that we have in the hat that guessed 16 pounds for Goldie's 16 pound 2 ounce fish, Sebastian Stempkowski, Aaron Walters, and Lee Hoff. You guys all guessed 16 pounds. So we need to choose a winner. I'm going to shake that up in the Fishing Canada hat. Dave's going to draw the name.
Okay. No more suspense?
No more suspense.
Okay.
Whoa.
Who was the first one that you said was 16.4?
Cody K.
Okay, and Jake Springfellow was the other.
Jake Springfellow was the other person that guessed 16.4.
16.4.
So you guys were close, but you went over. So the price wasn't right. But thank you for guessing. I do appreciate it. Cody K is somebody who does follow us. I've seen his posts on Facebook and his comments. You know, I really appreciate that you guys take time to make the comments in the videos. I'm so happy that we had so many guesses for the rod and the bite alarms. You know, it just makes me want to do more contests. So we're going to keep the contests going. They won't be for every live stream, but we're going to try and do a couple more contests this season for sure. We'll figure out the prizes later. Possibly once we get through carp season and into trout season, we can maybe look at some trout products that we can consider.
Oh, definitely.
We'll talk about it. Nothing expensive because, but we'll come up with some stuff. All right, are you ready to draw this name?
I am.
Okay, are you going to look or are you not going to?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to.
You better not be peeking.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a name picked.
We got Aaron Walters.
Aaron Walters, you are the winner of the 9-foot, 2 3/4 test curve
Not that one.
Monster Carp Tackle rod. Not this one.
Not the one covered in carp goo and spot mix.
So yeah, the camera probably can't see this, but Aaron Walters. Ignore my really horrible handwriting. I was a doctor in a previous life.
It's very whited out.
Very whited out. Oh, because of bright lights.
Bright light.
But yeah, you're the winner out of the 3 people who guessed closest without going over. to the rod. So please, the Goldie's email address, I believe, is in the chat. If you're watching,
I put the wrong one in. but
you
that's
put the
okay.
wrong one in. Okay.
I'm gonna
On our
fix that right
face,
now.
you can go on our Facebook page as well. Send us a message with your contact information so that we can get a hold of you and get your mailing address so we can ship you out this rod. Not this one, the one that you're going to get. that's
Unless
like
they
this
want it,
one.
I can sign it.
No, we're going to auction that one off. We'll wait till you break it, and then we'll auction it off as like a really cool thing with your signature that says Goldied it on it. So yeah, there's our winners. Again, thank you guys so much for all of the guesses. I know a lot of people who were really hoping to win that. You know, your guesses might have been off and didn't take the win, but each one of those guesses matters. You're not gonna have a chance unless you make that guess. So I really appreciate that you've all taken the time to do that. Be ready for future contests where we will give away more stuff and you'll have your chance to win. I think we're going to just stick with that same format of guess it right on or just under, but don't go over, because I like that way. I think it's fair. What else you want to chat about, Dave? Anything else? No,
I'm actually, I'm just excited for next week's video.
Oh, yeah.
If you're talking about smashing it up.
Yeah, we did really well. We haven't even looked at back on the footage, but we had a lot of fish. The rods were going off like crazy. It was just a fun session, and it was a session we really needed because we were doing so poorly leading up to that one, so poorly.
I think we need to, like, on personal note, I think I need to, like, get out more with a lot of the local guys. There's a lot of local guys that have been reaching out to both of us and Clint, and there's lots of opportunity, I think, for, you know, us to share our spots, and they can share their ideas, and just you know, just some more people to get out with, like, because everyone has different work schedules and
Yeah,
different things that affect your free time, and it'd be nice just to, you know, to have another person you can reach out to and, you know, hit the bank up with. So
I do want to throw this out there.
it's neat to see all these comments and stuff, and
Yeah,
if, you know, if a few people end up meeting up through this, you know, live stream, or, you know, off the Facebook
or
or
the
Instagram.
videos in general. Yeah, absolutely. I want to throw this out there though. Clint was out yesterday,
Oh.
and this is important. We all need to take the time to take young anglers out, whether it be our kids, our nieces and nephews, neighbors' kids, things like that. Get them out fishing. Doesn't matter if it's carp fishing, you know, even though that's our preferred type of fishing. Trout fishing, sunfish, bass. I don't care what it is. You know, as much as I like to make fun of bass anglers and other species, predatory fish anglers, trollers. I love to tease you guys because it's fun, and sometimes you get mad about it, and it just amuses me. But with all that joking aside, it is so important to take young people out and get them involved with fishing and the outdoors in general. I'm not a hunter. I used to be. I got away from that, but even taking kids out hunting, the important thing is getting them involved with the outdoors. We have to do more of this. I think with today's society of being so obsessed with technology, we're getting away from that. And I want to throw a shout out to Clint, who actually was out fishing yesterday, and a local lad to where he was fishing, I think he said he was 12 years old, came out to do some fishing of his own, and was intrigued by what Clint was doing with all the carp tackle. And Clint took the time to, you know, explain to the young guy about the equipment, about how he was fishing for carp, and how the different equipment interacted with fish, as far as like the rig setting the hook for him so that you don't have to put that extra force into setting a hook, you know, fish safety, fish care, things like that. And the young lad would just rip home on his bike and upgrade his, you know, he lost a fish on 10-pound line, so he ran home, got heavier line, came back and tried again. You know, the fact that Clint took the time while he was out enjoying his own session to teach this young lad what he needed to be able to catch a carp on his own. You know, a huge kudos to you for doing that. It's so important that we get the young people out. I try to take my son out as much as possible. You know, he's not really hooked on fishing yet, but he does love doing it when he gets out. He loves to be out with the guys and have that social time as well, because it's not just about being in nature, but having that opportunity to be social. and have that person-to-person interaction in that environment is so much better.
I saw the photo of the young guy
Yeah.
posing with the fish, and I'm pretty sure he's hooked now.
Yeah, definitely
But
hooked.
I think Clint's also doing like some like fishing classes for younger kids through fishing frenzy. Or
Fishing
whatever.
Frenzy. Yeah, so go online, look up Fishing Frenzy. We actually met with the people involved with that program this spring at I think one of the fishing tackle shows. Did we lose that?
It's been an hour.
Oh.
PlayStation
Oh yeah, that's right.
fell asleep.
But yeah, Fishing Frenzy. Go online, check that out. We're not done, and Will's trying to call me.
Of course.
Smack him. So I keep getting interrupted here, but Fishing Frenzy, go online. It has a youth fishing league. They're all about getting kids into fishing and having them interact with the outdoors. It's a great program. They travel around to a bunch of the fishing sportsman shows in the spring, but they have this youth fishing league through the summer. You can look it up, get information on it if they're going to be in your local area. You can definitely try to get involved with that. And Clint has some involvement with that, where he helps out and volunteers with that program. So he's definitely had that interaction and that experience to be able to be well skilled at teaching kids about fishing. I know he takes his own children out fishing as well. So, damn Will. Guy's got no sense of time. He's always calling me when I'm at work too. Oh, you're still at work? Yeah, I'm not done for 2 more hours. We need to buy him a watch or a sundial or something. But yeah, you can't stress enough how important it is to take young people out. Again, look up Fishing Frenzy. It's just the one we know about that's quite popular around Southern Ontario. There may be other youth fishing leagues if you look into your local Game and Fish Association, if you have them. I know that the St. Catharines Game and Fish Association does have a kids fishing derby each year and some youth fishing days. Really, really important to get people involved.
Who knows with the high water? They might have to change venues. But...
Yeah, who knows? I think they have floating docks. I think they're probably all right.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, look into your local area. Look into some of the conservation areas where you live. Sometimes some of the local conservation areas will also have a
Or
kids
even
fishing
just-
day.
Just those like family fishing weekends and stuff. Too.
Yeah,
It's Just
exactly.
a good opportunity just to get out and on your own if you don't end up joining a league or, committing to however many sessions it may or may not be. Like if you're just looking to have some good time with the family, with the very little investment in time or money, and you can have share some good memories with the family and. I'll be on your own timeline. You don't have. It's not like it's a zoo or anything. You don't have to wait till 9 for it to open, or you don't have to worry about it closing at 5. Like,
Yeah.
that's the beauty.
Go to your local pond, take the little ones out with a bobber and some worms.
I had my
Doesn't
daughter up at my sister's place on Lake Chemong this past weekend, and she had a blast. Like, she worked her way through so many different fish. Like, she caught perch and
there's a lot of different fish
rock
in that.
bass. There's bluegill and pumpkin seeds and largemouth and
She probably had a riot too.
goby. She got into all kinds of stuff, and it was a kind of a tough lesson with the gobies that she learned. But, but no, like definitely a lot of fun memories and a lot of pictures that I'm going to look back on for years now.
Yeah, you can't stress enough how important it is to get the young ones, even if they don't keep it up through their life, at least having those memories to look back on. It's important. I need to get off that topic because I can talk about that for hours about how important that is, because that's obviously what had the impact on me when I was young. But Goldie's been over there typing away and laughing, so I'm assuming somebody's written something in the chat that's either inappropriate or it's Will, isn't it?
No, I can hear the dog snoring now.
You can hear the dog snoring now?
Yeah, she's
She's out cold.
She's kicked it up a notch.
She's out cold now.
One
Yeah,
of our top subscribers.
Yeah. That's her spot. Yeah, it doesn't. We're just setting the area up, and the dog automatically goes into her pillow over here. Doesn't spend any time on there any other time other than when we do the live stream. She goes right there even before we're set up and ready to go. It's her routine. Can't leave my side. Has there been any more comments? Is everybody happy with the winners?
Kevin Z
Oh yeah, Kevin, who got us to do that Black Widow rod review.
Yeah.
He's on there now.
Yeah, he's just asking how you're doing, and I said you were very hyper because you had too much coffee, and then he says he wished he had that much coffee.
You know what? You can have that much coffee. It's Saturday. It's okay. I endorse you having that much coffee. You guys need to stop letting me have this much coffee. In all fairness, I went and bought all this coffee and had the other ones before you were even out of bed this morning.
Yeah.
Technically, the kid's still sleeping because he was up all night.
That's because the tropical depression Barry's giving me a migraine, so.
You're a walking migraine, Goldie. It's okay. This was fun. I really enjoyed doing this contest and giving people the whole month to guess. Like, that was exciting to see all those guesses coming in and people messaging. Okay, people. Don't message me and say, hey, what's the weights? Tell me the weights so I can win. It's not cool. What's worse is it wasn't just people that know me, that I like friends, like strangers. Hey, I really want to win that rod. What was the weight? I'm not going to tell you. Come on. Like, what kind of silliness is that, people? Don't do that.
50 pounds.
That's something that Scott Cross would do. Like, dude, what's the weight? Tell me so I can win. Actually, I'm pretty sure, is it Sarah Lee? Yeah, she did ask me what the weights were. No. So I said no, you had to guess. That's why I didn't even tell you if you were close. But I am glad you guessed. Oh, that was funny. We should probably wrap this up because I'm going to start coming down off this high because I'm almost out of coffee.
Of our non-sponsor who should be a sponsor.
Well, yeah, if Tim Hortons sponsored us, then I wouldn't have to keep paying for Timbits that are always wrong. Every day I get 20 Timbits in the morning, no chocolate. Guess what I get just about every day? Like half of them chocolate. Wake up. You guys got to stop giving me these opportunities to just rant about things. Like, change your topics. Okay, so I before we end, I want to go on this note. Obviously, we all have spots we have planning to hit this season, whether it be for carp or other species. Do you have any carp fishing targets for this season? Because obviously the beginning of the year hasn't played out the way either of us have planned. My target this year was to get into some more big fish. Guess what? Haven't found them yet. Still looking. But do you have any specific targets in mind, or certain rigs that you wanted to focus your attention on?
The only targets I really had for this year, I wanted to try to, or goals, let's say, I wanted to try to make more videos, whether it be for your channel or for Monster Carp. I felt I've been kind of lacking there. I wanted to try to fish the boilies more just as like bottom baits, just to fool around with that. I always find myself sticking pop-ups on top or topping them, or a piece of floating corn. I wanted to just try them on the bottom, and I wanted to get into some more mirrors, and I wanted to force myself to fish a couple of new spots that I've had my eyes on over the years. So that doesn't sound like a very large list of things, but
Making it happen's tough, eh?
Until maybe when my daughter gets back into school, I might be able to tackle this, but I don't want to have to wait until September because at that point then the river might be calling my name too to get out.
Well, there's the tough part where September's not that far away either. We have a lot of things we want to try and accomplish in a very short period of like the next 6 weeks. You
throw a couple of family gatherings in the mix, and next thing you know, the summer skates away in a hurry. So
yeah, I know we gotta try and get out a little bit more. It's just trying to get a full session lately. It's just been so tough. We have all day tomorrow, as far as I know, and it's one of 2 or 3 full days we've had since the tournament, which was like a month and a half, 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Schedule's not been easy, but we're gonna try and make the most out of what time we get, and try to bring you some more exciting videos with some new ideas we have and some new spots we want to go to. I definitely do agree you should do some more Monster Carp. Their YouTube channel, more videos explaining some of the products and stuff.
Yeah,
we're willing to help.
No, I
don't want to. You got to make sure I don't have as much coffee.
The one goal was because people keep asking about the rods, like I want to make a video where I incorporate all 3 rods, like using the 2 1/4, the
Not this one specifically, but some
the
other
2
ones.
3/4 and the 3 1/2, and just how they all, they all have their own kind of lane that they fish well in. So
For sure, the 2 1/4 is the one I'm most looking forward to. I'm gonna have to get my hands on one soon, probably with my next order, because I'm almost out of Monster Carp Tackle bait, and I need to put in an order for bait soon.
well, if you're getting out tomorrow, then maybe I can give you my 2 1/4 to play with until we meet up again.
Well, that depends on where we're going, because if we're going to the spot that I think we're going to, I'll be using my 12 footers,
Okay.
but that's just specifically because I'm going to be casting a lot further than I would normally do with this. It's not that this can't handle that, but I can punch it about another 30 yards further with the 12 footer than I can with this. I really, really like these for my tighter spots, and we're not fishing a tight spot tomorrow. But that's coming because I have a few other places that we have to try where it's like a jungle we have to get into. Much tighter than our secret spot where we're really enclosed.
Yeah.
Some of these spots are like really, really tight, and this will be the rod to use. So maybe I'll let you know when I'm doing that. And
I'm down this end of town all the time, so.
you're down this end of town, yeah, fishing like at my doorstep. Hey, I'm at work. I was fishing right by your house the other day. Goldie's been laughing the whole time, so either he's making fun of us or somebody's commenting.
Well,
Why-
I'm just listening to you guys.
But you're laughing, so all I hear is,
Sorry.
you should be. You know what? Quality's going to get a lot better soon. We have a new microphone on its way here, and we're going to get this camera situation sorted out soon,
Hopefully.
hopefully. That's
We're getting a new computer, hopefully, too. That'll help a lot.
yeah. If anybody wants to send us like, I don't know, $2,000, we'll buy a brand new computer. Feel free. Totally okay with that. I'll send you an autographed picture of Goldie, in fact, for that money if you want. And I'll make sure he's smiling in that picture so it's extra special. But yeah, we have our winners for the Monster Carp Tackle prizes. We're definitely going to do some more contests in future live streams. We'll make sure we mention that when they're going to be coming up. You'll have to have some input on those contests because we'll figure out what the prizes will be together. I don't think I really have anything else to go after other than I need to go get more coffee.
Yeah, some.
You're out too. So why don't we wrap up this live stream? We've gone a little bit longer than we had planned, and I know you have to get to work at some point today. You can always just skip and say you're sick because you had too much coffee and you passed out on John's basement floor.
Yeah, the temptation is there, but there's too much evidence right now.
Too much evidence with it being live that you're awake and well.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're done, Goldie. What do you think?
You're in front of the camera.
I'm in front of the camera, but you're the one that has the button that says stop.
Fine.
So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting on the contest. Congratulations to our winners. Get us your information. It's gonna make me jump out of my chair and
Sorry.
run to the rod.
When the coffee wears off, that helps get the heart going again.
Get us your information. N. Cutler and Aaron Walters. Please get us your information so we can send your prizes out to you. No real timeline on that, but the faster you do it, the faster you get the items. Out. He's hitting buttons,
Uh-oh.
shaking the camera. It's like an earthquake.